That's what love is like. A really powerful human story. The whole family was sitting watching TV when my sister suddenly bent down to pick up the remote control. My brother-in-law immediately put his hand on the bottom of the table. When my sister looked up, she bumped her head on my brother's hand. The best gift for your family and friends. One winter's day, I was getting dressed when my brother asked to go downstairs first. I told him it was cold and he should go down later. But he said he wanted to smoke a cigarette. When I went downstairs, I saw him sitting in the passenger seat of the car. When he saw me, he moved to the driver's seat. And the passenger seat was already warm. My brother and his girlfriend had been in love for 7 years. But she decided to follow her family abroad to settle down. On the day she left, my brother watched the plane go into the sky and said quietly, "Without love, we can still live." Since then, he has been on his own. Once, after an argument, he shouted, "Whatever, do whatever you want. It's none of my business anymore." Then he drove out of the gate. I didn't say a word and quickly got on the bike. He shouted, "Get off! What are you following me for?" But I didn't say anything. In the end, he took me to the cinema. He always teased me for being fat. But he never stopped feeding me. It was when both my mother and I made a mistake. But my father only told me off. We were in a relationship that involved living in different places. And one day I made him really angry. He didn't say anything to me. Then he quietly went to the supermarket and bought some sweets for me. I love sweets so much. He was angry, but he also cared about me. He always loved me in his own way. While we were walking, I said I was thirsty. So he went into a shop to buy me a drink. It was hot, but he bought something warm. And when I complained, he said, "You were coughing last night." I asked for his bottle. And he smiled and said, "I knew you'd be like this. So I bought a warm one too." When we went to buy a jacket, he liked ones with big pockets. I said they looked childish. He replied, "So you can put your hands in them when it's cold." My parents were arguing. My mother started crying. And my father quickly said sorry to make up. Actually, it wasn't my father's fault. But he said that no matter what, if my mother cried, it was his fault. When my dad was getting ready to go out for a drink with his friends, my mum said, "Don't dress up like that for some woman to look at. Change out of that old shirt." My father looked upset and said, "No woman would look at me. Why are you worrying so much?" My mother replied calmly, "There are ghosts everywhere, so I'm just being careful." My younger brother was accepted by 2 universities. But because of his girlfriend, he chose the less well-known one. I joked, "Are you afraid she'll fall in love with someone else?" He replied calmly, "No, I'm afraid no one else will take care of her." My mother said, "This cake is thirsty, isn't it?" My father immediately stood up and poured her a glass of water. When I saw this, I said, "I'm thirsty too." My father replied, "Go and get it yourself." One time, when we were having a fight, I said to my partner, "Do you not love me anymore?" He rolled his eyes and shouted, "Yes, I don't love you anymore. And all the grilled chicken thighs I bought for Milu to eat." I shouted back angrily, "I'm stubborn and difficult to please. If you can't stand it, then stay away from me." He replied, "I don't want to stay away. You can't control me." When I was in high school, I got chicken pox and had to stay home from school. I really wanted pork rib porridge, so I sent him a text. 20 minutes later, he brought it over, even though his house was 5 kilometers away. A week later, it was his turn to get chicken pox. After dinner, I pretended to be tired, and he didn't say a word. He just cleaned up the dishes and took them to the sink. I could see that he was clumsy. My dog helped the neighbor's dog give birth to 2 puppies. Since then, it has been living with the neighbor and has not come back to my house. That's what love is like.